Who doesn't love princesses and singing songs? I certainly do, and it's my favorite thing to do in Lorcana decks. Hello there, Lorcana Lovelies. Today I'm talking about a little bit of a return to the classics, or a blast from the past, if you will. Today we're going to be talking about Infinity Steel songs. So I'm going off to Dortmund in like a month and a half-ish, which that DLC is Infinity. So it means that I have to be getting some play testing in with whatever deck I'm going to be playing to be able to refine it and figure out kind of all of its lines. And in this case, remember it from like a year and a half ago when I was playing it. So let's go into my Steel Song list that I'm playing for Infinity, my current thoughts on it. I'm sure it's going to change. And then once I get some play testing in, I'll do a little bit of a revision video. So here is my list. It is 60 cards. There are 19 uninkables. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize there were 19 uninkables. There are 19 uninkables in this list, and I do want to put more in because I really like the look of the new Merida that's coming out in Wilds Unknown, and I don't think I have space for her in this list with the uninkable count, but we'll kind of go into this and see what I got here. So starting, I guess, from the very kind of bottom of the curve here, let's talk about our one drops. So the one drops that I have are Aurora and Ariel, and we'll count Angel as a one drop little over 50% of the time because I never win dice rolls, so she's a one drop more often than she's not. These one drops are all really good and really awesome in this deck. So this deck, first off, like I've said millions of times, for Steel Song, it's a tempo deck where you're using your characters to sing your removal so that you have your ink free to play more characters. So when you're looking at decks like this, you want to make sure that you have a good curve for characters so that you can be playing characters each turn, and you also want to be able to have some songs, either removal songs or ramp songs, or kind of like answer songs, specific songs like that, so that you can be dealing with what your opponent's doing and also pushing your own tempo forward. So starting at the beginning, like I said, we're looking at one drops here. So Aurora is a fantastic one drop because this is a princess heavy list. And Aurora, when she quests, you pay one less for the next princess or queen you play. I keep forgetting this. I should kind of remember this a little bit more, and I should play this a little bit kind of better. And I typically, when I've been play testing recently, I haven't wanted to risk Aurora getting taken out, but she really does push you ahead. So like in theory, on turn 2, you quest with Aurora, and that means you can play an Ariel on turn 2 and grab a song with her. If you are questing with Aurora and like potentially singing a song, say like the Akud song, it means you can be playing much bigger princesses. So Aurora is great because she just ramp you forward in a princess heavy list like this. Cinderella and Angel are both great for the same reason. They are Singer 3. So Singer 3 is awesome because a lot of the songs that we want to be singing are a 3-costed song. And in the case of, so like Strength of Raging Fire or Let the Storm Rage On, there are removal options to take out our opponent's characters. In the case of Akud, it pushes our own game forward by playing a much bigger character than we should be able to play, plus drawing us a song. Or drawing us a card. We'll talk about the songs in a second, but both of those characters are really key in a singer's list because they sing for above their value, which means you can be really dealing with your opponent's characters much quicker and not using your ink to do it. If we're talking about our 2 drops here, we have Mr. Shmee, who I really missed. He is a 3/3, and that's really why we're playing him. He can really take out almost anything that is being played early game. Now, the downside of him is if he's turned sideways and you don't have a captain play, which there's no captains in this list, he does take a damage, which means that he's going to be taken out pretty soon, but there is healing options in this list, and he pairs well with cards like Rapunzel that draws us cards when we heal our characters. We also have the Troubadour at our 2 drops slot here. So these lists often either play Troubadour or Ursula. So the reason that we are playing Troubadour is that Resist 4 is brutal, and I love it. It's great. It is very difficult for our opponent to deal with a Resist 1 on a character at coming out at a 2 slot because it does mean it takes like... You're not going to have enough characters out for Strength of Raging Fire to really deal with him, which means it takes either some of your Ruby, like, spot removal cards, or it takes like a Long Came Zeus to be able to get rid of him, which is a lot to be able to deal with a character like this. The reason we would play something like Ursula is, again, it has to do with that Rapunzel that we're going to talk about in a second. So the Rapunzel, which she heals something when she comes in, and then she draws you cards equal to what you heal. Since Ursula has she's a 1/4, so she's 1 bigger on her willpower, it does mean that you can heal that 3 whole damage with Rapunzel and get the most amount of cards off of her. So it's kind of a toss-up about what you're leaning into more. Are you leaning in more into the Rapunzel draw cards heal If you are, then I would play more Ursulas. If you are wanting your opponent to have to deal with resist, then obviously the Troubadour with resist is the better one there. Personally, I'm playing Troubadour right now, but like I'll go back and forth on whichever one that I want to play, depending on how many Rapunzels I'm playing. Looking at our 3-drop slot now. So 3-drop slot is really where this deck is going to shine, although like those 1s and 2 drops, I think are still good anyways, or great, I should say. Our 3-drop slot, we have Ariel. She's the classic card for Steel Song here. She's a singer 5, so she can sing above kind of her weight there, which means she could be singing you A Whole New World, which is really what we want to be digging for with her. She also, when she comes into play, you look at the top 4 cards, and if you're not me, there's a song there, and you get to put it in your hand. I miss with Ariel so much, and there's like over 20 songs in this deck. I shouldn't miss with this. And you know what? Recently I haven't been, which has been great, but I'm not going to jinx my luck there, and we're just going to move on from Ariel. This Ariel is also great because she's a shift target for an Ariel we'll talk about in a second. Also sitting at our 3-drop slot is Pete. So Pete is crucial. There's a lot of action-heavy decks in Infinity, especially the Steel Song Mirror. But if you think about it, there's like the Maui, Ruby Purple, or not Ruby Purple, Ruby, Sapphire Ruby lists out there that play a lot of actions, say like Be Prepared, and being able to stop your opponent from being able to play those actions is really good. We also have the Prince Philip, Mean, Malicious, and Scary, and Under the Sea that we have to deal with, so we want to be able to play Pete when we know our opponent could potentially do that action that's going to like wipe our field, or take out our favorite characters, and we want to be able to play that at that opportune time there. At our 4-drop slot, we are playing Ariel Ethereal Voice. Ariel Ethereal Voice is in the core version of this list and the Infinity version of this list with a song-heavy deck. It doesn't make sense to not play her. She's phenomenal. If she's boosted, which you're going to try to boost her as soon as she comes in. Whenever you play, once per turn when you play a song, you can draw a card. So Steel Song, one of its most terrible things that it tends to have going for it is the lack of card draw that it tends to have. It does have a good amount of card draw, but this card really does make it so that if your opponent doesn't answer her, you are going to be drawing cards off of it, which is great. She's a 3/4 that quests for 2, but you don't want to be turning her sideways until you need to, or unless you think you're going to lose her anyways, because that card draw is more important than the 2 lore you're going to get off of her until you get towards that late game when that 2 lore could push you that much closer. We also have a Prince Naveen. Actually, we have 3 Prince Naveens. I really like Prince Naveen in this. It is great. So let's talk about kind of like, I guess, ideal turn here. So ideally, if we were to say play an Angel out and then play the Akud, we could play Naveen right away, which could either play a Whole New World when he comes out, just disrupts your opponent's hand because chances are on that like turn 2 or 3 when you're playing him, they have kept a very specific hand, which means that they're getting rid of everything that they kept and they're getting a whole new 7 cards. So you are feeding them more cards, which, you know, take or leave there, but you really could throw off their game plan depending on what they've kept. Also is fantastic because, you know, you have a lot of removal songs in this and you could play those removal songs for free off of him, which will let you kind of get rid of whatever's out there and hopefully kind of keep the tempo of your opponent down, because that's the goal. We also have the Rapunzel. Now, this version of this list is not a Rapunzel heavy list. It is leaning more into the Naveen side of things as opposed to Rapunzel. However, I've gone back and forth. Like I said, if I want to play a Rapunzel heavy list, then we up her to 4. Now, Rapunzel is phenomenal as well. She heals a character for up to 3, and you draw that many cards. So if you heal a character for 1, you draw 1 card. And if you heal a character for 3, you draw 3 cards, which is why I said Ursula is great with her, and so is Shmi, because they can take a good amount of damage. And in Shmi's case, he gives himself the damage, so you can draw cards with her and then kind of get your characters all healed up. Last character that I have for you here is Ariel Sonic Warrior in a song deck. Again, she is great. We can shift her onto little Ariel. 3/8 is very difficult for our opponent to deal with, but what she is great for is you get to pay 2 ink whenever you play a song, and you can do 3 damage to a character that's out there. So I've had turns before, and it's not once per turn, which is great. I've had turns before when playing her that, like, I've played 3 songs. I've had the ink to be able, because I haven't had any characters out, I've had any characters in my hand. I've had the ink to be able to pay that 2, 4, 6 ink to be able to do 3 damage to 3 separate characters, and like I empty my opponent's board with that. Not using really any of my characters to do anything other than sing songs, which is what the deck wants to do anyways. Ariel is awesome. I think she's a phenomenal card in this, and I mean, I've never played this many Ariels in it. 3 Ariels is great, and I've never played this many Ariels, which just goes to show you how good she can be, especially against aggro decks. She's phenomenal. So those are our characters. If we're going to go look at our songs, I am playing Bare Necessities. I think Bare Necessities is very important for the same reason that I think Pete's very important. Bare Necessities is going to take a character out of our opponent's hand, which again, really important to be able to do because going to take an action out of our opponent's hand, which is very important to be able to do because action-heavy decks, like I said, we want to be able to take those actions out of the hand so that they can't play them against us. We have the Akud et Emudi, I think is what it's called. I just called Angel's Song. Draws us a card, and our next character costs 2 less to play. So again, our singer 3s can sing this, so our 1-drop singers can sing this, which means on turn 2, when they're singing it, we can play something that costs 4, which you're looking at kind of that Naveen that comes in and plays a song for free. You can play an aerial, ethereal voice, which means that your songs are now going to be drawing you cards. So that card's great. If you sing it on turn 3, you should have 6 ink, which means you can play anything you want. We have our damage songs next. We have Let the Storm Rage On that does damage equal to characters. Let the Storm Rage On is the opposite. 2 damage, draws you a card. It's great. Should never have been printed. I love it. I'm glad that I can play it again. It is one of my favorite songs. Let this Strength of Emerging Fire is great. It does damage equal to the amount of characters you have out on the board, which means that we were encouraged to go wide so that we can take out our opponent's characters there. And then along came Zeus, which I missed. Zeus light, so he hurled a Thunderbolt is fine at 4 damage, but like I really like that 5 damage. That 5 damage spot is a lot of the willpowers, which means that we can like take care of our opponent's characters that we want to take care of, like say Maui's, and have no extra damage that we have to do. We also have A Whole New World. It's the standard card. Draw 7, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. It's a great card. There's not much that I have to say about it other than the fact that it's like in every Steel Song list. So this is what I am going to be playing right now. I am completely prepared that this deck is going to go through, I'm sure, some changes, especially with the new set coming out. Like I said, I really like the look of the new Merida. Josh says he's hit or miss on if the new Merida is going to be good in this, but like, you know, play an action, do 2 damage, that seems great. Doing an extra 2 damage, that seems great. So I really like that one. There's some other songs and some characters out there that I'd love to test in this. Mowgli is a decent one, as he does kind of essentially what Bare Necessities does, but on a character. And other ones like the Ancient Ways. So it's a 2-costed song that says essentially what Pete does. Your opponent can't play actions. So those are kind of some ones that are in my head that I might want to switch in and out. Most of them are songs that I might want to switch in and out, but I'm sure there's some characters that will be coming up. So this is my current iteration. As I make changes and closer to Dortmund, I'm hopefully going to get some play testing out. Josh has a combo list, a Stitch combo list that we're going to do some testing for too. And so we'll try to get some videos out of Steel Song going into Dortmund. So I'm going to go sing my way to Germany.